It's time now for Media Watch here on France 34. I'm joined by Diptyka Laurent. Hi there, Dipty.
Hi, Tom.
Lots of talk in the media today because, of course, we've just seen pictures of President Donald Trump heading off on his first big visit overseas. Tell us more.
That's right. He was on Twitter earlier tweeting out that he's getting ready for his big foreign trip. He notoriously hates traveling and really hates being anywhere that's not his Florida golf resort. But he is going on his first trip. He'll be strongly protecting American interests. That's what Donald Trump likes to do. A Democrat member of Parliament, Ted Lieu, has actually has published a little cheat sheet for Donald Trump. Things not to say, things to say. Don't leak classified information. G7 is not a golf reference. And don't talk about the Muslim ban with the Saudis. Actually, don't even talk about the Muslim ban at all. He also says that for his Pope Francis meeting, just a heads up that Pope Francis knows climate change is real, hates your proposed wall, and is not a fan of locker room talk. Of course, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, that tweet. Anyway, Donald Trump's trip begins with Saudi Arabia on Saturday, and Riyadh is really rolling out the red carpet because this is the first country that Donald Trump is visiting as U.S. president. It's a clear sign that relations are thawing. At least both sides are moving towards that. And in fact, the Saudis have launched a website in French, English, Russian, and Arabic with a countdown to the summit. And some grandiose promises like "Together we'll prevail," the idea really of unity and coming together. That's what they're hoping for, at least. And the Independent actually says Saudis are bending over backwards to make sure Donald Trump is comfortable during his trip. They've made sure that they have a stock of steak and ketchup because that's Donald Trump's favorite meal. And in case he doesn't like the local cuisine, they want to make sure that they've got some of his favorite meals on hand. And also Saudis, much like the rest of the world, have been briefed that Donald Trump prefers short presentations and visual aids, so no long, drawn-out diplomatic speeches, please.
Wow, that's quite a list. Of course, he's feeling a bit persecuted at the moment. He said just yesterday he feels like he is the target of what he called the biggest political witch hunt in U.S. history or something along those lines.
That's right. That's a tweet there. This is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician. He also said that no other politician in the world had it worse than him or had been treated more unfairly. And the backlash has been swift and brutal. A lot of comments you see, JFK was literally shot in the face. William McKinley was also shot, as was James Garfield and Abraham Lincoln. So people reminding him that, no, he doesn't have it the worst. And it turns out that one man in particular is not, actually there's a cartoon before I show you. There you go, Barack Obama saying, well, show us your birth certificate. Obviously, a little wink to the troubles that Barack Obama faced. And in fact, his use of the term witch hunt has drawn the ire of one man, Seth Moulton, who is a Massachusetts congressman. He trolled Trump earlier, saying, as a representative of Salem, the site of the greatest witch hunt in history in the 17th century, he says, well, this is a false use of the term. Anyway, Slate have set up their what they call the impeach-o-meter, wondering if Donald Trump's going to be impeached with all the controversies he's facing. For the moment, there's about 30% chance of that happening, but you'll have to wait and see.
Okay, just before we finish, we're going to head to the Philippines. Of course, President Duterte has cracked down in a big way on drugs. Now he's moved his focus to smoking.
That's right. He signed an executive order banning public smoking and public vaping in the Philippines, the first country in the world to do so. And the Singaporean paper, The Straits Times, says it's received quite widespread support from anti-tobacco activists and even smokers who say, well, it's good incentive to stop smoking. Interestingly, Duterte himself was a former smoker, but he quit. And in any case, those caught smoking could face a fine of $100 or 4 months in prison. And on Twitter, you can see it's already been enforced with that no smoking sign on the police dog. And other people saying, well, this is perhaps the only good deed that will unite pro and anti-Duterte supporters.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for that. Today's edition of Media Watch presented by Diptyka Laurent. Thanks again.